Community Motors West Side, the GM Superstore next to Cinema West. Community Motors of Mason City, we give you more.
Regular council meeting of the Mason City Council, December 20th, 2011 at 6 p.m. Just a note for everybody, you can always look online and find the packet, masoncity.net. Scroll over to the right side. I believe it says your government, and just go on down to mayor and council and click that, and I think it has your packet by date, and you can always follow along at this meeting or the other meetings that we do. One more announcement real quick before we get rolling. Mason City is doing very well on their initiative to become a blue zone. Of course, we've been accepted to be a applicant. We've got through the pre-application stage, and we're really moving forward. Now, there's a walk on Thursday, December 22nd at noon. That's December 22nd at noon. And everybody should meet down at Music Man Square, wear blue, of course, and there will be a 1K or a 2K walk, depending on the weather. And just make sure you wear blue and get down there. We want to get some really good pictures from Mason City to put in the video on the application. So we certainly would hope that we could get as many folks down there to do that. Come down, have a bite to eat for lunch, and show your support for Blue Zones. You can, of course, if you have not, go to bluezonesproject.com or text BZP to 772937 and enter Mason City in 5041. And you can find that at masoncity.net as well. Marshalltown is closing on us, and they're comparable sized cities, so we most certainly do not, in the spirit of the competition, want them to get in front of us. So everybody, please get your friends, neighbors, colleagues together, empty your address books, and get as much support as we possibly can. So, thank you very much. Let the record reflect that all members are present, and we'll follow me the order. Do we have, in regards to the agenda, we're going to pull number 15, and do we have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda with the exception of number 15?
So moved. Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Marsters?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Solberg? Yes. Tornquist?
Yes.
All right, thank you, council. Well, first up, we've got a special item of business this evening. We have Andy Kaufman with us, and Andy's a freshman. Come on up here. Andy's a freshman attending the University of Missouri, majoring in broadcast journalism, and will be pursuing a minor in Spanish. She became interested in broadcast journalism because she likes writing and wanted to incorporate both elements of writing and public speaking. In addition, was influenced by her sophomore high school benchmark experience at KIMT. The America's Homecoming Queen National Pageant was held in Anaheim, California at Disneyland from July 25th through July 29th. There were representatives from 50 states, and they competed in the evening gown walk, an essay about leadership, a quiz over American history, and provided a speech about why people should visit their home state. And our Andy won. She'll be representing the organization over New Year's at the Liberty Bowl football game in Memphis, Tennessee. Will be involved in pregame and halftime activities as well as visiting St. Jude's Hospital on their behalf. And we have a certificate for you. The City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor, Certificate of Recognition. On behalf of the City Council, the certificate is awarded to Andrea Kaufman, recognition of your achievement of being named America's Homecoming Queen during the national pageant at Disneyland in Anaheim, California. Congratulations. Let's give her a really nice round of applause.
Great proud.
Yeah, go on down the table. We're lucky we even got her back. She's been off at school. Thank you very much, guys. It's great. All right. Well, this is notice to the public. We're going to have a public forum here. The mayor and city council are welcome to make comments from the public on agenda items only during the public forum. You have to give your name, address, and the agenda item, number, or topic you're referring to on the agenda. And please keep your comments concise, limited to 5 minutes. And the clock is, as you are at the podium, is right in front of you. So feel free to take the podium and state your name and address. Mr. Palmer.
Yes, my name is Steve Palmer, and I live at 255 Lakeview Drive. And that's a pretty hard thing to follow there. That's pretty exciting, isn't it? I would like to speak in support of action item number 17 tonight. And I'd like to thank Councilman Nelson for all the work he's put in on this, and for Councilman Hickey for bringing this up again. For most of the time I lived in Mason City. I lived at 125 9th Street Northwest. And so I was up on the north end, and I had the privilege to work with the North End Partnership, led by Rhonda True and Tim Latham, and many, many good volunteers. And the North End Partnership works hard to try to improve the North End. They do a spring cleanup, they do a number of things, block parties, and they have regular meetings which they discuss things that can be done to improve the North End. And I believe, as a property owner in Mason City, that if you own property in our town, you need to respect your fellow property owners and maintain your property. Because if you don't, you're devaluing their property. It's not just devaluing your own. That's fine. If you want to do that, maybe you should live out in the country on an acreage where you're only bothering yourself, not others. I believe that we probably have enough regulations. I know we talked about an improved property maintenance code, but I think probably what we really lack is enforcement of the rules that we have. And that's always been an issue. And I think we're embarking on a new year. 2012 is right around the corner, where we have several new people that would be coming on the council at that point in time. And I'd like to challenge the council to take that as a fresh start and encourage your support of property maintenance in the new year. And I'd just like to run one thought by you. Just imagine with me for a minute, if you're a business person coming down or thinking about locating a business in Mason City, and you're from Minnesota or someplace north and west of here, and instead of coming down Interstate 35 and across the border between Clear Lake and Mason City, you actually come in on Highway 65, and you've never been to Mason City before. Let me ask you this. What is your impression of Mason City going to be as you reach the city limits? I think there's a room for a lot of improvement. A lot of improvement has been made due to work by the North End Partnership and others. But if we're going to move our city forward, there are things that need to be done that remain undone. And I think enforcement of property maintenance code is a good way to start out the new year. And I believe we really need to do it, and I would encourage your support for action item number 17. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Mr. Latham.
Well, I'd like to talk about number 17 also. I think it's an important time for us to really get involved with this number 17. One of the things I would really encourage the city council to look at as all the properties that the city had to get involved with, the properties that are in foreclosure, quite a few of them. I think it's a good time to really make sure we have the rules in place, and that whoever should acquire those properties have to bring them up to city code. No shortcuts, no letting people move in until everything is totally done on those properties. Otherwise, it'll never happen. I agree with Steve. We need to really look at a policy and enforce it. And I agree that if you come in from the north, there's a lot of properties that really need to, and I just don't want to say just the north end. There's a lot of places. But at the same time, I want to make sure that we don't put a burden on folks who can't afford to do the repairs. And I would suggest that maybe we put together a committee of citizens to look at possibly how we can help the people who can't afford to do these things. And, I just know there's a lot of older people out there, even people who've lost their jobs. And possibly, we can't fix everything, but maybe we could put something together through a 501c, whether it be through the North End Partnership or another organization, and be able to help some of these people where maybe we can get some grants and help these people fix some of these properties up. I know the city applies because we co-sponsor some of the things to get grants from HUD and different things that they come in and they do things. But there's a lot of regulations and requirements, so I'm hoping that this can be something that will stand apart, that maybe we don't have all those rules and regulations, and we can do something to fix the buildings or houses or what it might be, without putting a lot of undue stress on someone who doesn't have the financial position to do it. Thank you for your time, and I just want to take one more second and say thanks, Max, Don, and Jeff, for all your service.
Thank you, Mr. Latham. Anybody else? Ms. Easley.
I just wanted to say, Max, Jeff, Don, you've done a fantastic job. Maybe the citizens didn't always agree with every single decision, but we're really going to miss you. And I really like what Tim had to say about helping people that can't afford it. If you decide that their house is in bad shape, I hope you can find money to help them. That's the way the system should work. Thank you. Goodbye, you guys. It's been fantastic.
Thank you, Ms. Easley. Anybody else? Anybody? All right. Mr. Nelson, good.
Yes.
You want to take 5?
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Fellow council members, Mayor, Mr. Trout, citizens, this being my last council meeting, I have a few brief comments. I just want to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the citizens of Mason City who have elected me on 3 occasions to the Mason City Council, and recently as a write-in to the Mason City Parks and Rec. My past 12 years has been an education and a rewarding experience. I am proud of what this present council and previous councils I have served have accomplished for this community. Accomplishments too numerous to even mention. I think we have prepared this community the last 12 years for growth, particularly the last 2 to 4 years. We are ready for growth in this community. I am quite proud of my past public service to the citizens of Mason City and our city government. 29 years of public service I put in. 12 years on the city council, 12 years on the Civil Service Commission, 6 of 12 being chairperson, 5 years on the Building Advisory and Appeals Board, and now I begin a 4-year term on the Parks and Recreation Board. I felt I have paid my debt to the city and will continue as long as I'm on this earth. I also want to express my appreciation to the fine city staff. The past 12 years, they've been extremely responsive to my hundreds of memos relating to neighborhood issues, various questions, and community concerns. I'd like to name all of them, but you get in trouble, we start naming names, you know. But you guys here, the ladies, I appreciate all you do. You make me look good on many occasions. I only wish the very best and much success to the 3 newly elected council members and our mayor and the 3 city council members who will remain. Only wish the best. I live here too. It's been my honor and sincere privilege to have served this great community. Thank you and have a great
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you.
All right. Going once, twice. All right. We'll move to the consent agenda. Number 2, minutes, December 6, 2011. 3 claims dated December 8th and 15th, 2011. 4 permits. 5 unaudited financial report. 6 mayor recommending approval. Appointments of Tony Johnson, Ross Gray, Megan Mumau to the Plumbing Appeals and Examinations Board, and the reappointment of Craig McDougal and Steve Clausen to the same board. 7, administrator recommending approval, appoint hire Tyson Anderson as police officer. 8, administrator recommending approval resolution changing the time of the regular scheduled meeting of the Mason City Council on January 3rd, 2012 from 7 to 4 p.m. and that's due to caucus night. Unique occurrence in Iowa. 9, administrator recommending approval of resolution designating the Mason City Globe Gazette as the official newspaper for the year 2012 for the city of Mason City, Iowa. 10, administrator recommending approval A, resolution authorizing a contract amendment with Active Thermal Concept, Inc. of Hiawatha, Iowa for additional asbestos abatement services related to the city's flood buyout programs, 2011-D-07. B, resolution authorizing a contract amendment with Active Thermal Concepts, Inc. of Hiawatha, Iowa for additional asbestos abatement services related to the city's flood buyout programs, 211-D-08. 11, administrator recommending approval resolution of award of contract to Yagi Colby Associates for professional services related to the 6th Street Southwest Utility and Street Improvements Project. 12, administrator recommending approval resolution of award of contract to WHKS and Company for professional services related to the East State Street Utility and Street Improvement Project. 13, administrator recommending approval resolution authorizing approval to change the name of a portion of Enterprise Alley between 1st Street Southwest and West State Street to Frank Lloyd Wright Way. 14, administrator recommending approval A, approval to expend $452, from the capital improvements project budget to complete the renovations of office space in Washington School. Funds are not authorized by Park Board. And B, resolution approving and authorizing execution of a lease agreement between the City of Mason City and Charlie Brown Community Daycare Center, also known as Charlie Brown Daycare Center, 700 North Washington Avenue, for Recreation Department office and program space. Do you have a motion and a second on consent?
14A, Park Board did approve the funding, 14A does not need to be approved.
Perfect, so we'll pull 14A and 15 then.
Just, yeah.
Good, no problem. Anybody have anything down here? Down here? All right, do we have a motion? Motion and a second?
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second on the consent agenda, with the exception of 14A and 15. Clerk call roll.
Marsters?
Yes.
Solberg? Yes. Tornquist?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, council. Number 16, administrator recommending approval of ordinance authorizing vacation of public right-of-way of alley located in Block 2 of Section 18-96-20, generally located in the block founded by 18th Street Southwest, South Wilson Avenue, 19th Street Southwest, and South Harding Avenue, Mason City, Iowa. And this is currently on First. Now's the time for public hearing. If you have comments you'd like to make regarding the item, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and we'll give you 5 minutes. Don't appear to be seeing none. Going once, twice. All right, we'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion and a second, that the ordinance be received and placed on file?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All right. Ms. Olber?
Basically, this is out in Central Heights neighborhood, and we see an awful lot of alleys that have never been maintained in the past, and there's trees and growth, and I think we're gonna see a lot more of this coming from the Central Heights area, because the alleys just aren't usable. So, motion to approve.
Thank you. Mr. Marsters, I believe.
No comment, sir.
All right. Anybody else? Mr. Torrance?
I'll add that the vacation of this specific segment is consistent with action that we have previously taken on other segments.
Thank you, Mr. Torrance. Anyone else? All right. Well, we've got a motion and a second. This is on first. Or call roll.
Solberg.
I had my hand up there. Are we able to waive a reading here to get it moved on, or do we have to wait till second?
No, staff's recommending no, because we were a couple of property owners did not receive their notice was received back as the address being unknown. And so we received them back, so it would be better to wait for waiving this.
Okay. Yes?
Marsters.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Tornquist.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. All right, thank you, council. Number 17, Councilmember Hickey. Motion would be to direct staff to develop a comprehensive plan to present to city council members by February 7, 2012 that will address the enforcement of existing building, fire, housing, and nuisance abatement codes in order to proactively support the improvement of the community appearance, public health, and safety. Mr. Hickey, you have a motion.
Motion to approve, please.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Hickey.
Well, through the last couple of months, I've had numerous calls from citizens, and the pictures that you're going to see here are from the Northwest Ward. And I didn't want to include anybody else's, but pretty much all these are abandoned type houses or structures. And when I went to city staff and asked them what we can do to address these issues, I was told that once a person gets a building permit on some of these properties, there's nothing we can do as a city as far as from neighborhood services standpoint. So I asked them, what can we do to address these issues? And basically this is what I was told, was that we have to make the motion and have direct staff to look at changing the ordinances and how we address these issues. So one of the things I've seen is, I think I would like to see is to change our permitting process, because it sounds to me that once these property owners get a permit, as long as they show some sort of improvement over the course of a year or however long it is, whether it's a window or a door, that's all they need to keep their permit going at the current time. So I think that's one thing that I would like to see addressed to change for the future. And then of course, I know this has been a priority of Mr. Nelson's, Mr. Marsters also, back when we did our planning sessions and stuff. And I thought this was prime time to bring this back. I thought it was a good time to do it with their last meeting, and this way to let them know that this is a priority of mine as well. And I think this is an issue that we need to address in Mason City. Now, I'm not necessarily for strict nuisance code enforcement per se, but as you see, the properties that the pictures have taken, these properties are dilapidated, and they pretty much went to a point of disrepair and are in bad shape. So these are the types of structures I would like to see us first starting to address, and if we go from there, we can discuss that as well. So that's where I'm at with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hickey. But the second. Ms. Solberg.
Some of those look like houses in my neighborhood. Thank you, Travis. I just want to address something that Mr. Latham brought up to the podium. I would like to see some type of committee to see if we can help rehab some of these houses. But the struggle that I had when we were incorporating our 501c3 for the Central Heights Neighborhood Association, we put our application into the state. One of the things to become a 501c3 is we could not help people paint houses and do things like that. So just an FYI, I didn't know if you were aware of that or not. nonprofit. So hopefully there's some other entity out there that we can find or locate so we can help some of these folks that maybe aren't able to financially fix up their homes to help them out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Solberg. Anybody else? Mr. Nelson?
Yes, thank you, Councilman Hickey, for bringing my name to it. Yeah, it has been a struggle for 12 years. I think we've made some headway, but we've a long way to go. So I appreciate you bringing it forward this time. I only hope that the 3 newly elected council members will continue to pursue, and I know you will keep after them, and hope they will support it. You know, you're right. I know in the language in the council, packet, you said that it's been on the back burner way too long. It has been. We've talked about it and discussed it, but and made a minor headway. There's a lot to do. And I think one of the gentlemen spoke at the podium earlier, stating, you know, coming into the community, how it appears. To me, a cleaner community, especially the entranceways and neighborhood, is economic development. It's part of economic development. How you maintain your community reflects on city government. So I support it 100%, your initiative, and I hope you just will continue and follow through with it. What could you argue with? Making the community safer, cleaner, code enforcement. That's what I think we've been after. So I applaud you for bringing this forward, and I hope you get full support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Who else down here? Mr. Tornquist.
I support the agenda item. I'd just like to ask the city administrator if he's comfortable with the February 7th due date. January's going to be a busy month. I want to make sure that we give this the attention that it deserves.
Well, I think so. I think that, you know, we'll delegate this out, work with Pat Otto and have her work with the various staff members and analyze what the requirements they have regarding their permits and their processes that they use, and have them analyze and bring those recommendations to me, and then we'll bring something back to you. So I'm comfortable. I think that this is actually a good time of year for us to look at something like this because of the status of building projects and so forth. I think this is our slower time of the year, so I think this is the right time to do it before the new season starts for construction. We get some new guidelines established so that we don't have properties that we're looking at next year that haven't been touched, that we have new standards.
Thank you, Mr. Tornquist. Anybody else?
May I just say one?
Yeah, just anybody before we go to response? All right, Mr. Nelson.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I don't know, I think Travis brought up about the building permits. I think that really has to be addressed. I know I have a sister-in-law in Denver, Colorado, and I don't know how the conversation drifted to building permits, but they were driving around town. Anyway, I think they have a year, and they have to have some significant improvement in the building permit. And here, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, you get a building permit, a year later you go back and get another permit, and it just go on for years. That's part of the problem we have as a building. I hope that will be addressed in the future. I think that's very, very important. You know, I was told that this initiative will require a lot of staff time and city expense. I don't think the citizens support it 100%. At least that'd be my opinion. How could you not want a cleaner, safer code enforcement community? Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Anybody else on response? Mr. Hickey.
And I agree with exactly what Mr. Nelson said. And I also like the idea Mr. Latham had of maybe looking at some committees and groups where if we do have some underprivileged or unfortunate, somebody that can't afford something, that maybe there's ways through whether we get some groups together like Habitat Humanity does or something like that where we can go help them out as private citizens as well. I'm not against that as either. Like again, I brought it forward. I don't want to take it. It's basically, this has been Don's agenda item from day one, and I just thought this was a good time to bring it back and let him know that I was serious about moving forward with it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hickey. Mr. Trout?
The comment I would make regarding that idea is, I think probably the right way for me to go about it is to talk to some of the other nonprofit agencies that we have in town. The Habitat Restore, Habitat for Humanity, the United Way, Salvation Army, and first take an inventory of what programs they're offering right now to assist homeowners, and then see where the gaps might be, and if there's something that we can do to assist in order to maybe make an impact on some of those types of issues. I think that's where I'll start with that. Sure.
Anybody else have a response? All right. Seeing now we've got a first and a second. And clerk call the roll.
Hickey,
Yes.
Solberg,
Yes.
Marsters,
Yes.
Tornquist,
Yes.
Weaver,
No.
Nelson.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, council. All right, well, this is the last meeting of the year, and I just want to say a few quick things. I know that members Weavers, Marsters, and Nelson all feel as honored as I do to have faced the same voters, dealt with the same issues, and been entrusted to serve the citizens of Mason City. It's no secret that we haven't always seen eye to eye on many issues, and that we bring very different perspective styles to the table. Over the last 3 years, first as a citizen activist, mayoral candidate, and then as the mayor of Mason City, I've worked with these gentlemen week after week, month after month, year after year. In spite of disagreements, there's never been any doubt in my mind that all three of them have consistently tried to always act in what they've genuinely believed to be in the best interest of the people of Mason City. So as these members now all begin new chapters in their lives, I wish them all well and sincerely thank them for their willingness to make the many sacrifices required of serving in public office. Good luck to all of you. And we'll present each one of you with a certificate of recognition here, and I'll read it, and we'll have each one of you come up one at a time, and be recognized. The first one goes to Jeff Marsters, First Ward Council Member. The City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor, Certificate of Recognition. On behalf of the Mayor, the certificate is awarded to Jeff Marsters. First Ward Council Member, in recognition of your years of service on the Mason City City Council, congratulations and best wishes. The second one goes to Don Nelson, Third Ward Council Member. It reads as follows. The City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor. Certificate of recognition. On behalf of the Mayor, this certificate is awarded to Don Nelson, Third Ward Council Member, in recognition of your years of service on the Mason City City Council. Congratulations and best wishes. Give a round of applause. And last, but certainly not least, the City of Mason City, the Office of the Mayor, Certificate of Recognition.
Pat, come on.
All for you.
On behalf of the Mayor, this certificate is awarded to Max Weaver, at-large council member, in recognition of your years of service on the Mason City City Council. Congratulations and best wishes. Well, folks, this is the last meeting of the year. I think on behalf of myself and on behalf of this council, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas, safe travels, a Happy New Year, and let's have a good next year. We're adjourned.